Howdy. There we go. We're on.
We're live.
This was not in my contract. Just trying to figure this out, you know? You know, when I went to college, just like you, the computers were in a big, huge room with cards you used to have to feed in.
Yeah. Fortran and Cold.
I never took those courses. I just did it before. It's funny, I come in the afternoon. Maybe I could turn it on. Anyway, it looks good. It looks good. I got the lower thing here for these people and open down the alley. Just to do that. So the people who love it.
I was thinking like, did you get your British cup? Maybe it was Irish. Oh, Irish. Yes, that's Irish. So crazy. The dragon saved. The dragon Loretta says, all of her Facebook, yes, and brilliant. read something.
No, where do you go?
Oh, I wanted to do. So that's how. So what are you gonna do, like this?
Well, there's another guy before the line. And then we'll put the off. There you go, Neil.
It's just gonna, it's just gonna.
So Loretta, you're doing our opening reading, okay. It's not in the book anyway, it's just.
I have it, yeah. I have it.
Definitely wouldn't have come if I knew you were gonna. Definitely wouldn't have come.
Oh, I didn't see it. Did you send it to me? Oh, I didn't see it. All right, so wait a minute. So Sandy Spa, that's going to be
Mimi.
Mimi.
It's Cindy's gonna be here.
I know, she said she was coming.
And
Then I have
and Beth's not coming. So that's always going to be.
Great.
Okay.
Very awesome. It should be fun.
And Judy Rice is not coming, it's going to be you.
Okay, I will,
Oh, are you down?
okay.
Yeah, choice.
I'd like you to. I will say.
No, it's fine. See, when I print the new one, and I put in my email to
When
you,
did I
your,
get it? I'm surprised I didn't get it. I didn't-
put in my email to you, your choice.
Okay. All right, this is awesome. Oh, it'll be a
Oh,
lot
I
of
hope
fun.
you got it, because I sent out another email at the
Oh,
same
I haven't
time.
really checked it. I had the cleaning kit.
I sent out another email at the same time to an insurance company, and I didn't hear back that they got it, so.
It's like, oh, that was yesterday. And better, not really. Oh, this is. This is fun. That was just last time. Look at trash. My phone. Yours was. So I didn't get it. No, I like it. Whenever I get coming, I usually get your emails. What do we have here
I
tonight?
didn't do it for my.
I would say that would be more dependable.
No,
See, we did this last year. I was at my Makaten in Harold.
yeah.
Haven't seen you in a while,
I
actually.
it's got a five.
She did. You're seeing it. Yeah, they had. This. I think we're good. I'm gonna close this door. We're all set with the Zoom. Well, folks, if I can ask you to take your seats. About ready to start. Okay. She is? Okay. Oh, she was one of those friends with me.
Yeah.
By the way, we're using the blue Sidurim tonight, just in case you were wondering. Blue Sidurim. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Da da. Ya da da. Ya da 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 da. 2, 3, 4. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Yes, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Yes, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, ooh, Shabbat, Shalom, yes, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. So now, before we start our service, we're going to ask people for good news. Good news. Good news. We got here tonight. That's the first good news. Test, test, test. Will you read my good news to the best?
State your name and state your good news.
My name is Mark Lebarsky, and I have a couple of pieces of good news. Starting this Thursday, I get to terrorize my grandsons from New York. They're coming up. And it's only 8 more days to the wedding.
How come they're coming in?
We have a wedding.
Oh, that's good news.
Okay. Any other good news? I have good news. Tomorrow is Loretta Bann's birthday. Sorry, Loretta.
I've got good news.
State your name.
Jeff Silverman. On January 26th, Alan Toulousky's birthday.
Oh, the 26th, Ellen.
It's a special
A
birthday.
big day.
It's a special, every birthday's special, but this one is very special, right? Right. Any other good news?
Oh, there has to be more good news in this crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, Mimi, give us some good news.
Any other good news? Mimi? State your name.
Mimi, state your name.
My name is Mimi Levy. I spent the afternoon in the woods looking for my daughter's dog, which after 6 hours we found.
That's good. Well, that was a nice workout.
Any other good news? You need to state your name and tell us your good news.
My name is Ilona Roll, and this is Lainey Goodman, and we've been friends for a really long time. And we both have our birthdays this week.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I won't say again, but I'll say again. Anybody else? No, that's it.
Well, thank you, Adele. That's great. I have good news. I started my granddaughter's bat mitzvah lesson. She's 10 and a half. And she knows more already than most kids know by the time they were bat mitzvah. So it's a real pleasure for me to be able to teach my grandchildren. All right, so now I'm going to invite up Loretta Bann for an opening reading.
To celebrate Shabbat is to share in holiness, the presence of eternity, a moment of majesty, the radiance of joy, enhancement of the soul. To celebrate Shabbat is to realize freedom. Shabbat reminds us that we are all royalty, that all mortals are equal, children of God. To celebrate Shabbat is to surpass limitations. We can sanctify time and redeem history. Affirm the world without becoming its slaves. To celebrate Shabbat is to sing its melody. We delight in the song of the Spirit, the joys of the good, the grandeur of living in the face of eternity. To celebrate Shabbat is to sense God's presence. God sustains us even when our spirits falter. May we deepen our spirituality and expand our compassion as we praise our Creator for the holiness of Shabbat.
Thanks, Loretta. And now, Gail, if you want to lead us in the Shalom Aleichem on page 13, please join in.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thanks, Gail. And now Yedid Nefesh on page 14. Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Mishok Avdak El Ritzonach Yaharutz Avdak Kimo Ayal Yishtachave El Muhadarach Yerab Lo Yedidutach Mino Fetzuv B'chol Tam Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai 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 Dai. And now we call up Paula Dolan, who's going to lead us in the Sabbath prayer on the bottom of page 14.
Thank you. A Sabbath prayer. Dear God, help us now to make this a new Shabbat. After noise, we seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love. After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to meditate, to listen to our inward selves. We open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world you are creating. We break open the gates of the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others. We reach toward one holy, perfect moment of Shabbat.
Awesome. Elisa Zimmerman going to lead us in the Lachuna Ranana on top of page 15.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai.
lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu nerana ladonai.
Naria, Naria, Letzor Yeshenu Nikadma, Fana Bitoda.
Naria, Naria, lechu yishenu.
Bizmi wrote Naria lo. Ranina, Ranina, Kune Ranana Ladonai, Lekune Ranina, Lekune Ranina, Lekune Ranana Ladonai. And we continue silently to the bottom of the page. Give it all. Arbaim shana kud bedor ve'omaram toev levavhem vehem lo yedu drachai Hashem nisbati v'api im yivo'un el menuchati. Now Janice is going to lead us in responsive reading on page 16, Psalm 96. Where are you going? Hey. Well, she's new here. I would have let you come up here too.
Psalm 96. Sing a new song to Adonai. Acclaim Adonai, all people on earth.
Sing to Adonai. Proclaim each day God's awesome might. Announce to the world God's glory and wonders.
For Adonai is great, deserving of praise. Adonai alone is to be revered as God.
All the gods of the nations are nothingness, but Adonai created the heavens.
Majesty and might accompany God. Splendor and strength adorn God's sanctuary.
Families of nations, acclaim God's majestic power. Acknowledge God's glory and bring him tribute.
Worship Adonai in resplendent reverence. Let the earth tremble in God's presence.
Declare to the world that Adonai is sovereign. God has steadied the world which stands firm and judges all nations with fairness.
Let the heavens rejoice, let the earth be glad. Let the sea and all it contains exult.
Let field and forest sing for joy. Adonai comes to rule the earth, to rule the world justly, the nations with faithfulness. Thank you, Janice. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yeram hayam umlo yalo sarai v'chol asher bo asher ranenu kol hatzeyar lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim be'amunato. Now let's turn to page 20. As we do the Mizmor LeDavid, if I can ask you to rise, please. Mizmor LeDavid, havu l'Adonai, b'nei elim, havu l'Adonai, kavod, va'oz, havu l'Adonai, kivod shimo, hishtachavu l'Adonai, behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim Kol Adonai b'koach Kol Adonai behadar Kol Adonai shover arazim Vaishavir Adonai et azei halvanon Vayakidem kimo egel Levanon v'Sirion kimo Ven re'emim Kol Adonai chotzer lahavotesh Kol Adonai yachil midbar yachil Adonai midbar kadesh Kol Adonai yechol elayalot Vayechesof ye'arod uvechalo kulo omer kavod Adonai lam abu yashav Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz li'amo yitein. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. You may be seated. Now we call upon Adele Luboski to lead us in the Chadodi on page 21, and we do every other verse.
Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela.
Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela.
Shamu v'zachu b'dibor
Echad.
echad. Hishmianu el
Hamyuchad.
hamyuchad. Adonai echad ushmo
Echad.
echad. L'shem utiferet v'lit hilal lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. Mikdash melech
Ir melucha.
Kul mitzei
Mitoch
mitoch
hafecha.
hafecha. Rav lach shevet be'emek
Be'emek
havacha.
havacha.
Ve'hu yachamo alayich emla.
Emla.
Lecha dodi likrat kala
Penei Shabbat nikabela.
Hitorari, kiva ore kumi ori, uri, shedaberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. V'hayu limshisa shosayich, v'rachaku kol milvalayich, yasis alayich Elohayich, kimsos katan al kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzahala, toch emunei am sigula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela.
Thanks, Adele. You may be seated. Now on page 23, Psalm 92, a song for Shabbat, be led by Mimi responsively.
A song for Shabbat. It's good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalt the God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness in each night, to a music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai, your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish, all the wicked shall crumble.
But me you have greatly exalted. I'm anointed with fragrant oil. I've seen the downfall of my foes. I've heard the despair of my attackers.
Righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, shall go tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Plant in the house of Adonai, it will thrive in the courts of our God.
They shall bear fruit even in old age, and they shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock, in whom there ain't no flaw. Thanks, Mimi, and let's do 4 lines from the bottom, page 23, we'll sing together. Tzadikatama yefrach, ke'eres bavanon yeskeh, shetolim beveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenuvon v'seva, dishenim v'rananim yeyu lehagid, ki asha Adonai tzori below avlatabo. And now Psalm 93, Esther will lead us in that. Page 24.
Adonai malach lavesh,
Laveshanayos hitazar aftikon tevel baltimod. Edo techanem numaod vechanav hakodesh Adonai leorech yamin.
Thanks, Esther. Now, Mourner's Kaddish, those observing your site, middle of page 24. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah. V'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute. V'chaye chon v'yomei chon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. B'agalau v'zman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'alam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekucha barichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata tamiram v'yalma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Could I ask you all to rise now for the Baruch Hu, top of page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamvarach. Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. I call up Marsha Goldstein to lead us in Praised Are You on page 28 in the English.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, your word bringing the evening dusk. You open with wisdom the gates of dawn, designed the day with wondrous skill, set out the successions of seasons and arrange the stars in the sky according to your will. Adonai Tzivot, you create day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Eternal God, your sovereignty shall forever embrace us. Praised are you, Adonai, by each evening's dusk.
Thanks, Marsha. With that, Esther will finish it off in Hebrew, page 28.
Umarvil yom umevin laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim.
And Esther will continue to lead us on page 29.
Please join me.
Olam.
Avat olam beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadita. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shachenu v'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, v'yorech yameinu, u'vahem neged yomam v'layla. V'ahavadcha tasim imenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Thanks. And now Mimi will lead us in the Shema, top of page 30.
Shema,
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta es Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'odecha,
V'hayu advarim ha'ela, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha, v'shinamtam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, V'yeshivtecha b'beitecha, Lechtecha v'derech, Shachtecha v'kumecha, Shatam liot al yadecha, V'hayu totafot vein einecha, Ukitav tam, V'sobetecha u'v'sharecha.
On the page quietly. Page 31. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe Lemor, Daber el Bnei Yisrael, v'yamatar Elohem, v'yasu lahem tzitzis, al kanfei v'dehem l'doratam, v'natu al tzitzis hakanav v'til techelech, v'haya lachem l'tzitzit, uritem oto, Uzhatem et kol mitzvot Adonai, v'yasitem otam, v'lo taturu, acharei levavchem, v'acharei einechem, asher atem zonim achareihem, leman tizkaru, v'yasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzes Etzem mi'eretz Mitzrayim, Liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet.
Thanks, Mimi. And we continue silently on page 32. Malchut Zobratzon kiblu aleihem, Moshe v'nesher lachanu shira b'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neta b'kodesh, nora tehilot al seifele, Malchut charu v'necha b'okeyam lefnei Moshe ze Eli yanu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed v'nemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ugelo min chazak mimenu baruch et Adonai ga'al Yisrael. And now Loretta will lead us in the Hashkivenu in English on page 33. Help us, Adonai.
Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace
and awaken us again, our sovereign to life. Everybody, spread over us your shelter of peace, and guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy, and shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow.
Remove evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler.
Guard our coming and our going, and grant us life and peace now and always.
Spread over us the shelter of your peace.
Praise
to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. And now, Wendy, you're going to lead us in the Vishamru. I'm going to ask everybody to rise. Top of page 34.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat
Shabbos
la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Shabbos la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam.
Beini uvein bein Yisrael
Oti liolam.
Oti leolam, oti leolam, vishamru b'nei Yisrael
Et HaShabbat, Shabbos,
la'asot et
Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם, כי ששת ימים
Asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz mru v'nei Yisrael
et HaShabbat, Shabbos, לעשות
et hashabat
דורותם
לדורותם
ברית
ברית עולם.
עולם, וביום השביעי
Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash.
Fash vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat, Shabbos, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Remain standing for the Chatzi Kaddish, middle of page 34.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei.
בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי יומיה יתברך.
Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha
B'richu.
le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata Tamira mi'alma v'yimru. Amen. Thanks, Wendy. Now remain standing for the silent Amidah, page 35b through page 38. And when you're done, you may be seated. If I can call up Eileen to lead us in the, we'll all read together the middle paragraph on page 38. My God, keep my tongue from evil.
My God, keep my tongue from evil,
my lips from lies.
Help me ignore those who
Would
would
slander
slander
me.
me.
Let me be humble before all. Open my heart to your Torah.
Torah, that
I
I
pursue
must
your
pursue your
mitzvahs.
mitzvot. Frustrate the designs of those who plot evil against me. Make nothing of their schemes. Act for the sake of your compassion, your power, your holiness, and your Torah. Answer my prayer for the deliverance of your people. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, my rock and my redeemer.
Oh, say
Shalom bimramav,
Bimramav,
Huria
Huria,
Shalom
Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael. V'yamaru, Amen. Thanks, Eileen. So now we're going to do a prayer for some of those who aren't feeling too well. So as I stop this, there's a time where I pause. I say, please bring blessing and healing too. Feel free to say a name. So I'm going to ask you to rise. Gives a little bit more emphasis. Misha Berach Avotenu Avram Yitzchak V'Yaakov Sarivka Rachav Aleya Hu Yavarek V'Rapei Et. Please, may God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, please be blessing and healing too. We have some names. Are we all? A little extra for my daughter. And to all those who suffer illness within our congregational families, and may the Holy One mercifully restore them to health and vigor, granting them physical and spiritual well-being, together with all others who are ill. And although Shabbat is a time to refrain from petition, we yet hope and pray that blessing is at hand, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach avotenu, mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu, mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Now if I could ask you to remain standing for the Vayachulu on the top of page 47. To be led by Adele Lubaski, as you can see. And this is a passage from the Torah, so we stand accordingly.
Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i
melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i
vayikadesh oto ki bo shavat mikol melachto ki bo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim
Asher bara Elohim lasod.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Konei Shamayim v'Haaretz.
You may be seated. Last paragraph, page 47.
Magen Avot Bidvaro, Mechaye Metim B'Mamaro, Ha'el HaKadosh She'en Kamohu, Hameniach Li'amo, B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho, Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem, Ivam Ratza lehaniach lahem, lefonav navo b'ravachacha, menodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid, me'on habrachot, el hahodaot, Adon Hashalom, Mekadesh HaShabbat, Uvarek Shvi'i, Umeniach B'Kedusha, V'yamiknu Shtei Oneg, Zecher L'Maseh Bereshit.
Top of page 48.
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Ritzei b'mnuchatenu, Ha'adshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'ten chalkeinu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mituvecha, v'samcheinu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu li'avdecha be'emet, V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, v'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuchu v'Yisrael mikadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh Shabbat.
Thanks, Adele. Now Irene Gusta is going to lead us in the Kaddish Shalem, page 48.
Yitgadal Yitkadash Meiraba Bialma Divarak Yirute Viamlit Malchute V'chayechon Uviyomechon Uvichaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Bagalov Isman Karin Yimru Amen Yehesh Meiraba Mevorach Le'olam u'lamei olamaya Yitzbarach Yitzbarach V'yishtabach V'yitzparmam V'yitznaseh V'yitznada V'yitzhada V'yitzhalel V'yithalal Shmei D'Kudusha Shmei D'Kudusha Brichu Le'ela Mikal Bechata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata B'miyami Allah Tishbechata V'nechemata Damiram B'alma V'yimru Amen Titakabel Tzalachon V'alchon D'chal Beit Yisrael Katamahuvon Di Bishmaya V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru. I think I'm an alto. Amen.
Amen. Irene, I am totally impressed. I would never do that, but you did it. Good for you. So Alan, we have a special reading. Alan Greenspan is going to come up and do it for us. On the back of the Siddur on page 370. 370. Give him a second to find the page, like me.
I can't sing.
And it's
like I
responsive
read.
reading, of course.
The gift of Shabbat. Out of the vast and formless mass, you, O God, did fashion a world.
You brought light into darkness, order where there was confusion, and living creatures to inhabit the earth.
You created us in your own image, giving us dominion over all your works.
Then you rejoiced in your creation. You beheld your work, and it was good.
You have given us Shabbat to remember creation, implant within us a spark of your spirit.
That we may share with you the joy of creation, and you may find our efforts good.
May we also bring light where there is darkness, ennobling thus the human heart and mind.
Sovereign of all creation, God Most High, your power is manifest in the destiny of people and nations.
You delivered Israel from bondage in Egypt, for it is your will that we should be free.
You have given us Shabbat to commemorate that freedom, to teach us that no one shall be master and no one a slave.
Help us to break every shackle asunder, hastening the day when the strong will be just and the weak will no longer know fear.
You, our Creator, are mindful of your handiwork. Your ordinances are all conceived in wisdom.
You commanded us to cease from our labor, that we may find joy and peace in Shabbat rest.
For we were not made only to labor. We must pause and reflect and commune with you.
We thank you, our Creator, for the gift of Shabbat, your gift to Israel that blesses all mankind.
Thanks, Alan. That's great. So now we're going to do Kiddush, which is on page 49, and I understand it's a groupie. Going to have a bunch of the sisterhood members come up in front of the shulchan here on the floor, whoever wants to participate. Come on, you have to come up. Oh, you all know the Kiddush by heart anyways. It's on page 49. If I could ask you all to rise. I know we got the big cup, but for all you guys, I know you all know the Kiddush. Some of you do it on Mondays and Tuesdays too, but that's okay. Well, that's right. You all got your little Kiddush cups there? If not, there's some in the back. Now we're talking. This is the group we wanted to see. All right, ladies, whenever you're ready, page 49.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri
Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
asher
kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kadsho
b'yahava uvratzon,
ihilanu zikaron l'maseh breshit.
Ki hu yom tefila lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat
Mitzrayim. Kivanu lachata, yotanu kidashta,
Nikol
Ahamim,
B'Shabbat
Kodesh
B'Yahava
Uvratzon,
Inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Awesome. So that's done. I guess the time to introduce them. You may be seated.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Ilona Roll, who is the president of the North Atlantic region of Women's League for Conservative Judaism, of which our sisterhood is a part. And Ilona, I appreciate your lengthy drive in this weather to get here tonight.
You can come up here if you want.
Firstly, I want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And I want to thank Esther for inviting me to your sisterhood Shabbat. And I was here, it was a year ago, but it was like in March. It was in March the last time, I remember that. But I'm glad to be here again. I'm glad to be able to be in person, to see all your lovely faces, sisterhood members as well as members of the Shul. On this Shabbat, Parashat Va'era, Women's League of Conservative Judaism, affiliated sisterhoods along with yours are celebrating the 1918 founding of Women's League by Matilda Schechter. We are Jewish women, chazak v'amatz, strong and courageous, gathering biyachad together, praying and taking lead in your service tonight. Women's League of Conservative Judaism offers quality programming and opportunities for learning in our sisterhoods, in our regions, and on the international level. As members of sisterhood, please take advantage of all the programming at every level. Mazel tov to your sisterhood, to Ner Tamid, for all your hard work and accomplishments and support of Women's League of Conservative Judaism, led by Loretta Band. And thank you to all of you that are on the numerous committees that you have on your sisterhood. Let us all continue to join together, biyachad, with strength and courage, chazak v'amatz, to fulfill the mission of engaging, enriching, and empowering conservative Jewish women. And thank you again, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Ilona. Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Va'era. In this portion, God tells Moses and Aaron to go to Pharaoh to demand freedom for the Israelites. Pharaoh refuses, and God unleashes the plagues on the Egyptians. One might question why Parashat Va'era includes the instruction for Moses and Aaron to go to Pharaoh to ask that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. After all, in last week's portion, Parashat Shemot, God has already given Moses the task of going to Pharaoh on behalf of the Hebrew slaves. At that time, Moses expressed all his fears and feelings of insecurity to God regarding the mission he's being assigned of going to Pharaoh to free the Hebrews from slavery. God has already allayed all these fears and designated Aaron to accompany Moses and be his spokesperson. Why then are these instructions being repeated again in a different parasha? In effect, the beginning verses of Parashat Va'era are actually the concluding portion of the conversation begun in Parashat Shemot, when God first calls out to Moses to deliver his people. At the end of Parashat Shemot, Moses has appealed to Pharaoh, and I quote, "Let my people go that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness." Pharaoh interprets this request to mean that the people are trying to get out of work and responds by requiring the slaves to gather their own straw for the bricks while still maintaining the same amount of bricks. Moses and the Hebrews become despondent at the outcome, and Moses reproaches God for not delivering his people. It is in response to Moses' reproach that Parashat Va'era begins with God's repetition of his promise of redemption. Moses is frustrated by his interactions with the Hebrews, as well as his interactions with Pharaoh. God reminds Moses that he will be with him, will relay the words to him that he will pass on to Aaron, and Aaron will be the actual spokesperson. I quote, "So Adonai spoke to both Moses and Aaron in regard to the Israelites and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, instructing them to deliver the Israelites from the land of Egypt." God is not instructing them to deliver the Israelites. He has already done that. Rather, God is instructing them how to deliver the Israelites. According to Rashi, God charges Moses and Aaron to be gentle and patient with the children of Israel and to treat Pharaoh with the respect deserving of one in his position. What Rashi is saying can be summed up with the proverb, "You can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar." It is easier to persuade others with polite requests and a positive attitude rather than with rude demands and negativity. Differences of opinion can be resolved more favorably with respect and integrity than anger and resentment. The lessons of Parashat Va'era can be readily applied to the way in which we work together as members of sisterhood. Sisterhood is made up of many different people with different personalities, opinions, and temperaments. By listening to one another and calmly discussing differences in opinion, we are able to work jointly as a cohesive group. Basing our interactions with one another on mutual respect and understanding, sisterhood will continue to thrive and experience great success as an organization.
I should call with that, Esther. You always give us such a good devar. Someone asked Mimi to come on up and lead us in the Aleinu on page 51. And of course, we rise for that prayer.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol lates gedula v'yoseh bereshit shelo asanu k'goyei havatzos
V'lo samanu
mishpachot hadoma shelo sam helkeinu gahem v'gahav aleinu k'mo
Hamonam nachnu kolim
Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu
notet shamayim v'yosef haaretz umoshev yikaro b'shamayim imal ushkinatu zo b'gavei miromim Eloheinu ein od emes malkeinu efesulato kakatu b'torato miadatayom kashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hua Elohim b'shamayim imal Yal haaretz mitachas ein od.
Hakatu b'totecha anoy yamloch li'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. This time we'll like to remember the yortzais for this week from our temple. Dr. Hyman David Kligstein, Carl Goldman, Celia Kane, Lillian Allenson, Robert Sherman, Robert Taub, James Reisberg, F. Rhoda Cole, Israel Gaffin, Philip Dantowitz, Sarah Goldberg, Marvin Mandel, Martin Zimmerman, Burton H. Goldstein, Cynthia Lieberfarb, Bernard Rosenbaum, Manus Tuxa, Norman Leventhal, Sarah Schultz, Leo Simons, Carol Stone, Caroline Taluski. And of course, we offer our condolences to Sandy Spa,
and to her mom too, Mother Eleanor, on the passing of her father and husband, Bernard Butler. Are there any other yortsites for this week? If not, may the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those who mourn, those observing yortzeit, to praise God's name with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 52. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute, v'chaye chon uvyom echon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'zman karil v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata amiram b'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. You may be seated. Now I'd like to call up Loretta Band for the announcements this evening.
Before I start the announcements, I just wanted to thank everybody who participated in the service. Alona, thank you for coming out on a snowy night. It was a long drive. To the people Esther that put all of this together, and Mimi that did it, and my kitchen crew for our own egg, Paula and Mimi, and my 5-month-old granddaughter, we're breaking her in early. So I do invite you to the own egg afterwards, and please take a look at our sisterhood tablecloth. Sorry, I'm having a problem forming words now. It's our history, and there's a lot of names and warmth and familyness, and we invite you all to join the present and secure our future by sharing your simchas with us on our tablecloth. So take a look at it. It's really a beautiful piece. So our announcements for today, Saturday morning services are at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow with an uphra for Eric Kobarski. Evening minyanim, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. in person and virtual. Sunday morning minyan will be at 9 a.m. followed by a light breakfast and study. We need a little help on Sundays, so if you're around on Sunday morning, please join us. Join us on Mondays and Wednesdays for Zumba and fitness. The next religious school junior congregation will be Saturday, February 4th from 10:30 to 11:30. Our next in-person Havdalah will be on February 4th also. It's Havdalah Pasta Pajama Party. Check the e-blast for more information on that. Men's Club board meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 7th. Join TNT Men's Club on Sunday, February 12th at 9 a.m. for the Worldwide Wrap. Following the service, please join us for breakfast, and that's going to be followed by our temple general meeting. Contact Elliot and Janice Weiner if you're available to serve dinner at Haven from Hunger on February 13th. And here's some save the dates. Purim celebration on Monday, March 6th at 6:30, and Sunday, March 12th for our Purim Carnival and lunch. Men's Club Shabbat is Friday, March 17th. Contact Richard Strauss for either a Hebrew or an English part as soon as possible. So you can see there's a lot happening at TNT. Sisterhood has some events coming up. We have a mitzvah night coming up in February. Our Tealess Tea is going on in February where we give back to our community. And in March, we're going to have a gardening night. So there's a lot that's happening here, and all the information for these events are in our weekly e-blast. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Ms. Retta. Now we have a closing reading, which Esther's going to do. I don't think you have it, but she has it. And I have it.
For the blessings which you lavish upon us in forest and sea, in mountain and meadow, in rain and sun, we thank you. For the blessings you implant within us, joy and peace, meditation and laughter, we are grateful to you. for the blessings of friendship and love, of family and community, for the blessings we ask of you and those we cannot ask, for the blessings you bestow upon us openly and those you give us in secret. For all the blessings, Creator of the universe, we thank you and are grateful to you. For the blessings we recognize and those we fail to recognize, for the blessings of our tradition and the joys of this holy Shabbat, for the blessings of return and forgiveness, of memory, of vision, and of hope, for all these blessings which surround us on every side. Dear God, hear our thanks and accept our gratitude.
Thanks, Esther. And that's so important. For all these blessings which surround us on every side, dear God, hear our thanks and accept our gratitude. We should say that like every night before we go to bed, that we at least have the ability to have a warm blanket in the house with heat. When I think of what's going on in the rest of the world, I cuddle under those blankets and I thank God that I have this. So, well, with that, and a happy note, we finish with Yigdal on page 53. Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach Nimtza v'yenet al mitzioto Echad v'yachid K'yichudo Ne'lam b'gam ein sof Li'achduto Ein lo demut haguf V'yeino guf Lo na'aroch elav Kedushato Kadmon l'chol davar asher nivra rishon v'yein reshit l'reshito hino adon olam b'chol notzar yoreh gedulato malchuto sefer nevuato nitano el anshe segulato v'tifato Lo kam Yisrael k'Moshe od Navi umabin et emunato Torah temet natan li'amoel Al yad neviyo neman beito Lo yachalif ho'el velo yamidato Li'olamim lizulato Tzofeh v'yodeya sitarenu Mabit l'sof davar b'kadmato Gomer le'ish chesed k'mifalo Noten l'rasha ra k'irishato Yishlach l'ketzi yamin mishichenu Liftov nechake ket yeshuato Meitim yechayel v'rov chasto Baruch Adeya Shem Tehilato Meitim Yechayel B'rov Chasto Baruch Adeya Shem Tehilato. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and please join us in the rear of the sanctuary.